y'all, what it do? What's up? Hey. What's pop locking fam? It's your girl Crystal, aka CurlieCrys. Welcome back for another video and another episode of the Perm Rod 101 series. I am so excited to be doing this series for you guys where we are getting into the installation, the takedown, the maintenance, the products needed, everything of a perm rod set. Okay, so this is episode 2, and in today's video we're going to be getting into the takedown process and also how to separate, how to get the volume, all of that good stuff to go from this to this. So you most definitely do not want to miss this episode. I mean, you already here, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. Oh wait, before we do that, if you are not part of the CurlieCrys fam, you have not made it official, I'm gonna need for you to do one thing for your girl, okay? And that is to smash that button down below. Smash that button down below. Hit it like you mean it and join the CurlieCrys fam. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So in episode 1, we got into the installation of a perm rod set, how to do it, some tips and tricks, the products that we use. So if you are not caught up with episode 1, go ahead and watch that before you watch this one, and then we're going to get into this video. Now if you are caught up, then sis or bro, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the things that you are going to be needing for today's video is, once again, some oil. The type of oil is not really matter in this step. It's just so that you can coat your hands with some oil to reduce the amount of friction, which means it's going to reduce frizz. So you don't want your hair to be gliding on dryness. You want your hands to be oily a little bit so that it can have something to glide on versus they be rough and that create frizz. Now the next thing you're going to be needing is a pick. A good old friendly pick. This one is the one that I love. It's completely plastic and it's also listed in my Amazon store in case you do want to get one just like this one. It's just a regular all plastic pick. And then the last thing, this right here is really optional, and that's just some clips. And we're going to get into why and everything in a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump into it, y'all. I'm so excited to be taking these down and seeing these results. So first thing first, I'm going to go ahead and put just about 4 drops of oil on my hand, rub it on in, and this is what we're going to be using to take down. So let me zoom y'all in and let's get to the takedown. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so here we are. Well, let's start with this one right here. So I'm going to unrelease, and then we're going to grab right here and just unwind in that opposite direction. Y'all, look at this. OMG. If that's not perfect, I don't know what you call perfect. It's the perfect corkscrew at the ends. Everything about it is just ideal, y'all. This is it. And you also can see how the end of this is very smooth, and that's what I was explaining in episode 1, where you have to make sure that you are smoothing the ends of your rod set. You have to make sure the ends are smooth before you start to roll. If not, it won't look like this. And this is what you want. Now let me tell you guys the difference in the corkscrew rod and the regular rod. If you don't do the corkscrew like I did, your entire rod, your entire piece of hair will look like the bottom portion. If you do the corkscrew the entire way, it will look like this, but I just prefer the corkscrew look because I feel like it just gives it, it kind of like amps it up a little bit, you know. So that's why I like the corkscrew. All right, here we go. Yes. Y'all, that looks bomb. Actually, on this side, I did do the 2 different ones, so maybe I'll come over here and show you guys so I can find it. So over here on this one, this is the one when I did not do any of the corkscrew, and you guys can see how it doesn't have that corkscrew look on it. Let me take this one out so I can compare. So this one right here is the one that I did not do any of the corkscrew on it. So as you guys can see, like the difference in this rod, in this result and this result, there's a big difference, right? This one is not corkscrewed at all. this one has kind of like a corkscrew look to it. So that's the difference in the result, and also in what you get as a result when you like separate and everything. Y'all, this is bomb. Also, another tip. Remember in the last episode when I told you guys that you want to make sure you aren't overlapping a lot of hair and that you are doing it in a vertical direction? The reason is because you want your rod to hang. You don't want it to be like this on your head or anything. You want it to hang down because that's going to give you the most length. I have seen people who like to undo their rods and they just kind of like do it like this. And that's fine if you want to do that. But to me, I just like to keep it all together. See how it kind of comes out slanted, kind of crooked like that? I don't like that. So that's why I don't do mine that way. And now I got to fix it. I prefer to not do it that way. And I prefer to already have just do it like this and it comes out in the right shape. So I have taken them all out except for this one. I'm leaving this one in for a reason. And y'all, look at the curls. How bouncy and juicy each one is. Like, honestly, there's not one that's out of place. And this is also why I really do like doing rod sets, because you have a higher probability of them all coming out correctly at this stage at least. So a lot of people can have an even shot at perfecting it basically. So now let's get into the separating. So whenever you're ready to separate, the first thing you want to do is see which direction you install the rod in. So you're going to put your finger and curl your finger in a certain direction, and if it bounces back down like this, that's the right direction. You'll know you're curling in the wrong direction when it looks like that. That's not the right direction. So this is the correct direction that I'm going to be curling in. Now the reason why that's so important is because when you go to separate your pieces, you're going to curl at the end to emphasize the curl, just like you would do with a twist out. Now, where do you separate, sis? Like, how do I know where to separate? Let me show you. You're going to separate and feel. You want to feel for that natural separation. So boom, here's that natural separation. I felt for it, it came apart, and now I'm curling at the end. You don't want to separate somewhere that it does not feel natural. And you also don't want to force it, just like you wouldn't do with a twist out. Here we go, and boom. And this one I'm going to keep into one, and boom. So that's it. And now out that one piece, I separated that about 4 times. Now let's move on up to this one. And also once you notice and figure out which way you curled in, that should be the exact same for that entire side of your head. And for the other side, just check and see if it's different. If it is, then adjust. All right, here we go. Separate right there and then curl around the end. Boom. Y'all see that? It looks so good, right? And I want a good amount of volume, so I'm going to separate a few times for each piece. Boom. The more you separate, the more volume you will have. So let me show you guys this again. So we're going to pick one, and then we're going to pull where it wants to naturally separate. Here we go. And then I'm going to separate this piece again because it's falling apart. And then we're going to curl around the end. Boom. Emphasize that curl. Drop it. Curl around the end. Boom. Emphasize that curl. Drop it. Now let's go to the next one. Curl again. Boom. Drop it. Separate. Curl around the end. Drop it. There you go. And it's really that simple. And you're going to keep on repeating that same exact process. So I separate that one piece about 6 or 7 times. And the reason why I really wanted to mention that in this particular point is because whenever you're doing a rod set, it opens up the opportunity for you to have less faults. Because typically by it being in a rod and drying in place, you're going to have a higher chance of whenever you separate for each piece to come out correctly. Whereas with a twist out, you may get like a whole lot of frizz. But with a rod set, after you really emphasize that curl at the end, you can typically correct whatever mistake you went ahead and made. So I have separated a good bit. Now I'm gonna go ahead and separate my whole head off camera, and we're gonna come back and see what it's looking like. So fam, I have taken down everything, all of the rods. I went ahead and separated them. And before we get into the next step, one thing I want to mention is if you guys notice the amount of definition that my hair has, not a hair is out of place, not one hair is frizzy. There's absolutely like no frizz at all, y'all. And it just looks really, really good. And the definition is like crazy. Which is also one reason why I really do like to recommend doing rod sets, because you really do have a higher chance of eliminating frizz once you get this technique down packed, as I was explaining to you guys earlier. And as y'all can see, like, it looks really, really good. So the next step that we're going to do is to get more volume, which is the part that so many people are interested in, right? So the reason why we're going to be using the clips is for this step, and we're also going to be using our pick. So what I'm going to do is work in sections, and I'm going to go ahead and pin up this portion of my hair. Now this right here is completely optional. You don't have to pick at all. But I just like to pick to get some more volume, because my hair just looks really, really small and short to me, and like I have way more length to give, so I want to use as much length as possible. So I'm going to go in with my pick and start at the root and pick on out. I'm picking out like this in the outwards direction, and as y'all can see, like, you're getting more volume at the roots, okay? Like, you guys can already see. And for me, like, my hair is really, really, really defined right now. So I don't mind making it less defined in the inside by picking a whole lot, you know, because it just is going to give me more so the look that I want in the end. So go ahead and have fun with it. And that's also a thing with curls, that you can really pick a lot to have a whole lot of fun with it, y'all. And you still get a bomb result in the end. So this portion is kind of picked out as much as I possibly could. So now I'm going to move on with this portion right here, and I'm going to pick in an outwards direction. You want to pick out. Start at the root and go out. And y'all, look at how much bigger it is, right? Start at the root and go out. Root and out. Root and out. Look at that. The definition though, like, come on. Root and out. And you come from up top and do it as well. And that also gives you more volume whenever you come up from up top. Boom. Whoo! That looks bomb. And then we can do a tad bit more on the top with this. Just a little bit. And guys, you can already see the difference from this side to this side. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my picking process, and I'll be right back. So fam, these are the final results. And y'all, I have a confession to make. I stretched my hair. Ooh. Y'all want to see how? Okay. Let me know in the comments down below if you want a stretching routine for perm rod sets. Your girl stretched it outside of the pick, okay? So I can get a whole lot of length. And once again, we can also maximize on this volume. Listen, the volume, you can really get however much you want out of just continuing to pick. But I did maximize my length, okay? with a little stretching routine. So let me know if you guys are interested in seeing my stretching routine and how to get more length out of these curls. But this is the final result, y'all, of our Perm Rod set. So y'all were here with me from installing and now taking down and seeing the end result. So let me know if y'all want that stretching video. As far as the product review, I really did like the products that I used. My hair feels really, really good. It has a whole lot of shape, a whole lot of body, a whole lot of bounce, okay? And it also held the curls really, really well. Like, my curl definition is most definitely popping. So I love that about it. Don't worry, y'all. We have a whole lot more to get through with this Perm Rod 101 series. Give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying it so far and enjoying this series so far. I need to know how y'all are feeling. Also, subscribe to your girl's channel if you are new so you don't miss nothing, okay? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Here are our bomb results. Whew! Talk about volume and just definition, y'all. This is it, okay? And I'm gonna see you guys in my next video.